And we're back for game 2 of our second best of 3 of the evening. LGD International taking on Rattlesnake. RS already with a win under their belt. Granted, they're more or less out of playoff contention, as is LGD.int, playing for nothing but pride and looking to turn the goose egg into a breadstick, or I guess I should say bagel into the breadstick. It's been a while since I've said that. Whatever. People got sick of it, so it's like kind of backed it off a little bit. Nonetheless, LGD with a Game 1 win, just one win away from finally getting a notch in the win column. They came close against Invictus Gaming in our first series of the night, not wanting to have a repeat of that, and they could go to a Game 3 only to lose. They're going to open things up with a Clockwork and a Crystal Maiden. Rattlesnake snatches up that first pick Invoker to help break down what happened in Game 1, talk about what's happening in Game 2, and, of course, to analyze the draft. Welcome in once again, Ben Merlini. Woo, Merlini, my friend. It's been a long day of Dota. We're kind of heading down the home stretch at this point. Very possible this series could end with this game, and that'll put us right on the cusp of our final series across the last 24 hours. I mean, when you think about it, over the last 24 hours, you and I have done, by the time all is said and done, we'll have done 8 best of 3s in the last 24 hours. That's pretty intense Dota, man.
It is. It is a lot.
And
to say the least.
We're definitely getting a nice up close and personal look at Western and Eastern Dota and how they compare now, and getting pretty much. I mean, we've been casting the Eastern Division on Sundays and Mondays for the last few weeks, but now kind of kicking it into high gear and really getting a good grasp on just how these teams are approaching in a much bigger way, 6.79. And seeing Invoker come back into play, that really makes me happy. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, my friend? I mean, Invoker was a hero who was situationally picked, but we've been seeing a lot of him over the last day or so.
Yeah, he's just been really, really popular. He can help out with the other lanes. He has his global up much earlier than a hero like Furion or Zeus. And if you can win like one of your other lanes just because of that Sunstrike, then it's pretty big deal. But a lot of times we see him with Quaz Wex too, which is good anti-push, and the EMP kind of zones people out for team fights. Even if it doesn't hit, it causes positioning issues for people. So he's a very flexible hero. Teams like DK, teams like Rattlesnake, LGD.int prefer him more, with PyCat and ISSIce being the premier Invoker players for those teams. He's also very good at just bursting people down. He also does very well with like lots of farm, one of the few int heroes that really, really requires a lot of levels. And his Force Spirit is just like incredible, just an incredibly versatile hero. People are starting to use him a lot more because he's just much more effective at 1 through 6 now with that, or 2 through 6 now with that buff to level 1 Invoke. Cold Snap and Force Spirit usually being the normal build.
Yep, and we saw that actually come into play in our last game, and it's something that when you think of Invoker, you think of a playmaker. You think of an individual one-on-one team fight kind of a guy who can gank and escape both very equally well. If you decide to go something like a Wex build, don't see that nearly as often, though we have seen it over the last day or so. I can't remember who it was that was playing it, but we saw an offlane Invoker go Quas Wex. He actually, aside from being a team fight monster and a nice burst damage kind of a hero, he does a phenomenal job with pushing too whenever he goes to max exhort build. And we saw PyCat abuse that to great effect. This time though, not going to be an option available to them, and I think LGD is finally taking our advice, man. Instead of putting black on these crazy heroes who want to come to fights early that doesn't really match his playstyle, just pick him Lone Druid every game. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, that's a good thing for LGD. They just want to win and close the game out very fast. I think that's just the right hero for black, or anti-mage too. But anti-mage, they have the net for him. Invoker can actually shut him down pretty easily with Quas. Like if you cold snap him and have consistent source of damage, he actually can't blink out in time, even though it's a mini stun.
Right. The LGD, I mean, they're continuing to just roll with what works. I mean, snatching the Lone Druid up, they're going to have a lot of roam and gank potential coming out of the Clockwork and the Crystal Maiden. Rattlesnake, though, already with the beginnings of a very solid team fight composition. The Naga Siren picked up very strong support, very good at ganking in her own right. And matched with that Invoker, again, we know what he can do in a variety of ways. We just covered all that. Love the Naga Siren pickup, though, against a hero like a Clockwork. When you see that clock come out very early, and you know that he's going to be looking to take fights on his own terms. I mean, basically, that's the entire role of the hero, is to catch you with your pants down and try to punish you for it. Just having Song of the Siren is a nice reset button. Going to give them a little bit more stability than I think they ever found in Game 1. Truth of the matter is, Luo just never had a chance to be relevant. He Had a bad start, then he made the bizarre choice to build a Midas at 20-plus minutes, even though he was desperately seeking any kind of survivability. That gold could have very easily been spent on an armlet. And after that, it was pretty much all she wrote. I mean, LGD just ran over top of them and going to be adding to their defensiveness here with the Keeper of the Light pick.
Yeah, Keeper Light, I don't know. He doesn't do that well for the anti-push. We may see a Phantom Lancer. I think that LGD should probably ban that out. I mean, if they don't pick it fourth pick, that is. But they have banned out the Alchemist too. Alchemist actually does pretty well versus Phantom Lancer, and they could just do that. The only problem is, could they just get pushed really, really early by a Lone Druid? Just as soon as Radiance hits, boom, just go ahead and push before PL can get any more items. So what other combinations with Keeper Light have we seen? We've seen Storm Spirit, but they already have Invoker. What else? We've seen Shaker, actually, but Shaker's not too good versus Clockwork, not too good versus Juggernaut or Lone Druid either. So I don't think we'll see him picked up.
Sand King actually works really well with the Keeper of the Light. Just being able to Chakra Magic, allowing him to spam Burrow Strike is deceptively difficult to deal with because, the hero is basically balanced around the idea of when you put him in an aggressive posture or position, he only has so much mana, and he has to shore up his mana issues with items. But having Chakra Magic there to just allow him to continuously Burrow Strike anyone who gets in range and feel confident that he can get back out due to the stun duration as well as Sandstorm. Actually seen that have a lot of solid effect, as well as the Leshrac. Leshrac, another hero. And it's going to be Rattlesnake this time who actually picks up the Anti-Mage.
Wow.
It's kind of bold, picking an Anti-Mage into a Lone Druid.
That's very bold.
The Lone... Go ahead.
He's okay, I guess. But, I don't know. They don't have any... He's anti-mage, but there aren't any casters on the side of LGD, except for Crystal Maiden. But you don't pick an anti-mage to counter a Crystal Maiden pick,
right? And one big problem the anti-mage does face is, two problems actually. I mean, if the Juggernaut pick hadn't come out, I would understand it a bit more. Just wanting to go late is one thing. Lone Druid doesn't match up particularly well against the Phantom Lancer in the late game. Like you said, the way you would deal with that as LGD is just go, okay, you take your PL Coddle, and I'm just going to push off a Radiance, and we're going to beat you that way. But with the Juggernaut up and the Lone Druid accounts for the Anti-Mage quite well. He just can't do much with the bear. One good route, which goes through Magic Immunity, can completely take Anti-Mage's biggest advantage away, which is his mobility with the built-in blink. And Juggernaut in a one-on-one situation, and granted, that's not always the easiest to create, especially in team fights, but a Juggernaut's Omni Slash is going to be able to stay on an Anti-Mage no matter what he does, so long as he's isolated against him. So. And the Clockwork as well. I mean, it's easy to forget. Like you said, same thing with the same function that a Cold Snap has is so long as you get the Clockwork on top of the Anti-Mage and you have Battery Assault, he's not going to be able to blink away. So they have a number of answers to him at all stages of the game. Magic Immunity be damned.
Reserve time.
There's so much physical damage too. Lone Druid and Juggernaut alone can take him down one route. If he doesn't have his Mantis style, he's just gonna flop. And I think it's just a rather early anti-mage pick too. They don't have to pick a fourth. Maybe if they pick another hero that synergizes well with them. But what offlane hero synergizes well with the anti-mage? Maybe Magnus, if they want to play that sort of 6.78 turtle strategy with Keeper Light anti-mage of Magnus. That's really the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, so far as off lanes, I mean, the days of the true off laner have kind of come and gone. I mean, we'll see it. The Enchanter is going to be the fifth pickup for LGD, which I really, really like. Basically, LGD Gaming, they picked the Juggernaut, I think, as a way of accounting for what we all anticipated would be a Phantom Lancer pickup. Basically jiving with exactly what you were saying is, okay, you want to go with that kind of a hero, we're just going to push before you can get up as many items as you want. Then they pick an anti-mage in, which takes even longer than a Phantom Lancer to feel like they can reliably come to a fight. And they go, okay, that's even better. You've got a Keeper of the Light. That is going to make it a little more complicated to push. But not only do we have Juggernaut's Healing Ward, not only do we have a Lone Druid who can build one item in that Radiance and make it very difficult, we're now going to have Enchantress who can not only gank the map early on, but she's going to be able to contribute Nature's Attendant. She's going to be able to contribute a little more single target damage to help burst down that anti-mage. And Windrunner will be the fifth pickup for Rattlesnake. Now, between the spam of Keeper of the Light and Windrunner, just Power Shot plus Illuminate, it is going to be tough for them to reliably keep a creep wave on a tower, but they do have the Clockwork when push comes to shove to try and initiate on an enemy's tower as well.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah, so I just don't really like Rattlesnake's lineup right now. Like they have a little bit of gank, a little bit of anti-push. They have like decent late game. They have like some team fight setup, I guess, with Naga Siren, but like comboing with Invoker, there's other heroes that you can combo well with Invoker. I think Impale based spells are really good because your spells are usually in a line anyways with Ice Wall, with Meteor, as well as the Deafening Blast. So I don't know. I'm just not really feeling their lineup. But I mean, we said that yesterday about that Leshrac pick from Vici, and then they just like dominated. So
Exactly.
I think we should have a little bit more faith in Rattlesnake.
Yeah, it's a fair thing. And just want to point out, by the way, Pycat and Freedom were running down lane throwing snowballs and coal at each other from Frost of his 2012. They were seriously running down to that bottom lane together doing that. So nice to see they're finally exhausting their last bit of leftovers. And if Dire Tide was any indication, don't know that we'll have a Frostifus this year. Valve canceled Frostifus, quote AC. And I don't know why I brought up Dire Tide, because I can only imagine the bitch fest that is taking place right now. I've never seen such a negative reaction as what has happened over Dire Tide over the last couple of weeks. But how about we talk about the game in front of us instead of the perceived game that many believe we should have received? We're going to see Luo and Freedom both going for the same rune. Luo's actually going to eat a Frostbite and a little bit of damage. We'll be able to blink away, and with that, we'll run through our lineups. We're going to have Icy playing on our Invokers. He's taken his first point into Exhort here in mid. Johnny going to be playing on the Naga Siren. Anti-Mage will be handled by Lua, as we saw, taking a little bit of damage from the Crystal Maiden. 1-2-1 will be handling our Windrunner. It's going to be a tri-lane where he's hooking up with Johnny, as well as Sag on the Keeper of the Light. On the other side of the river, we got Freedom playing the Crystal Maiden. Enchantress going to be handled by Misery, handling his own jungle, at least for the moment. Juggernaut going to be farmed up by Pycat, with the Clockwork handled by Brax. And in mid, once again, going to be Black on the Lone Druid.
And yeah, they put him in the solo mid role. I guess it's not that bad either. He just seems pretty experienced in that. He's already doing very well on CS4-1 on him, and that's without him getting pulled at all. Actually, he's starting off with a Claws of Attack build, Blades of Attack rather, on his bear. That is one of the most unusual builds I've seen.
And yeah, tell you the truth, I didn't even notice. You're dead right. We are going to see the rotation from Rattlesnake into their own jungle. They're going to be stacking and trying to effectively farm this out now. Sag plus the Naga Siren handled by Johnny, when they hook up, if they do want to hook up, actually can farm fairly well. Right now we could just see Sag illuminate farming the jungle, but with that and Riptide plus Chakra Magic, especially once Chakra hits level 2 and you can actually support 2 heroes' mana pools, they're going to be able to fairly efficiently farm the jungle up together. We're going to see Luo caught with a Frostbite. He's going to be down below half health, but still has a couple of tangos and a salve. He should be fine. Currently, though, being denied farm quite heavily. He's only got 1 CS compared to the 7 of Pycat.
I think he should have just went for Spell Shield at level 2. There's no reason for him to pick up Mana Break. It's not like he's going to be harassing Pycat very much.
Freedom going to be ensnared down. Illuminate charging, and we'll get it off. Here's Misery as well to try and help things out. Can they get Freedom for first blood? They should, and they will. They're going to end up trading 1 for 1, but nonetheless, slight advantage going the way of Rattlesnake that time around.
Yeah. Unfortunate for Crystal Maiden to be caught out right there. Freedom just seems to be out of position a lot. Last game when Visage he was out of position. Invoker, man, taking a lot of damage. I mean, he's getting dominated CS. This early Claws of Attack build is certainly paying off for Black. I mean, combined, we have, 62 plus 56. So we're looking at 118 damage from him and his hero combined, which is, I mean, you think Invoker's damage is high.
We're going to see more rotation. Rattlesnake going to come through mid. I really feel like it's important that they try to gank Black out. I mean, you have to punish a mid Lone Druid. You just have to. There's no way you should let a hero with no escape mechanism, who basically has nothing to contribute. The bear just helps you dominate a one-on-one situation.
He has face boots.
Yeah.
3 minutes into the game.
You have to punish this, and if they don't, looks like they're just going to avoid it. This is chancy to me. They're going to try and take a shot at Brax, who might make it for a ripe target, especially with the haste rune on the Naga Siren. She's going to run in, be able to get off a free ensnare, and this should be another kill going the way of Rattlesnake. The Illuminate will catch him in the jungle. Johnny going to chase him into the side. Oh, the cogs and the roll finally able to bring him down. Didn't think they'd be able to get that last auto attack off. The cogs delaying 1-2-1 and reducing his mana so he didn't have enough to power shot to help. Nonetheless, Rattlesnake takes the lead 2-1.
Yeah, I think if he tangoed right before he TP, or like a couple seconds before he TP, he may have survived. It was a really close kill, though.
Misery rotates into mid, and Black getting the help he needs. And this is beginning to get real chancy. They are going to go ahead and come back around now. They really need to kill this lone druid. He can't be doing
He gets
this.
a root right now.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
He's going to be caught with cold snap.
Good
Johnny's going to
awareness
come
by
in. There's the ensnare. Sunstrike will catch him, but it was split up by Misery. Misery got right on top of him, now healing him up with Nature's Attendance. Nature's Attendance makes it so hard to kill a Enchantress. And you can see they don't even try. They don't even try to pursue that out. It's just nigh impossible to accomplish. Sag was being chased by a Centaur, and they will be able to bring it down finally.
Nice play by Enchantress, though, to split up the Sunstrike. I think he actually saw it coming. It wasn't just lucky positioning.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he did. I mean, the Invoker was right there. And nice plays all around. And that's the other thing an Enchantress gives you. Not only does she move well, not only does she gank well, not only does she give you her push some more survivability, just trying to kill her and any other hero on top of her with early game Nature's Attendance, it is just awful. It's like trying to cut into a mountain with a rusty spoon. It just doesn't work.
I like that analogy. Like harassing Luo out on bottom.
Gonna force
phase boost too.
Yep. Gonna force the blink back. So I mean, this early laning phase here, Merlini. I mean, we're seeing a lot of rotating out of Sag and Nagasar. And you feel like they're getting enough work done, or is this beginning to maybe be a liability?
Not enough.
Yep.
Their anti-mage is suffering very, very heavily as a result. Look at his CS. It's 9-0. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th on last hits.
Yep.
That is just you can't do that. And he has boost first too. And he's out of mana right now because of the constant mana burn from the Satyr Mindstealer. He does get Chakra, but still he requires a lot of babysit, and he's not getting farm, right? So there are 3 heroes down here trying to secure his farm, but he doesn't even get anything out of it.
Pycat getting a little brave there. We'll go ahead and use the Blade Fury. There's the... Yep, they're going to get Luo. They should anyway. No, one last blink at the last second, enough to get him away. Healing Ward goes down, and that might be enough with the wand charges to keep him alive, and it will be. So they end up trading a lot of pain. No harm, no foul, though, as it remains 2-1. Pycat just kind of getting ahead of himself, rushed right into a blind spot where he had to know there was the potential of an enemy being.
He's going to get hit with this one.
One auto attack, not enough. Stout Shield helping him out there a little bit.
Yeah, he's just, I mean, still, that's a 3-on-2 situation, and the 1-2-1 getting harassed out on top side. But Misery's just been everywhere. He's been bottom, he's tornadoing top, he's there top, he saved Black in middle. I mean, Misery's just been playing extremely well.
He really has. We're going to see now Freedom snagging a haste rune. Going to move in.
They want to kill Icy.
Looking for a root. Will they get it? Will they get it? There's a frostbite. Damage is there, and the root. Black going to eat the Sunstrike, but happy to take it right in the chin in exchange for killing off that Invoker. And this game is getting very, this early on, there's still a lot of room to make up a deficit, but mostly that Anti-Mage being in the hole, and with that kill going to Black that time, they're just building huge leads where they need to. The top 2 on the board in terms of CS are Black and Pycat on the Juggernaut, but Black isn't just kind of on top. He is hugely on top. Freedom going to be netted. TP forced out. Riptide. Nope. Shackle Shot will fly for a while, but coming out just a little bit late. But yeah, he's sitting at 46 CS at just 7 minutes into this game. Absolutely dominating this middle lane.
Yeah, and it's not like he's only getting a lot of CS. He's also denying so much from the Invoker. Invoker's 1301. He is number 7 on CS. No, he is number 6 on CS. So Anti-Mage and Invoker, the 2 most important heroes on the side of Rattlesnake in terms of getting CS, are doing the just so poor. They're ahead. They're behind everybody except for Crystal Maiden, who has 0 and 0. So that is just really problematic. Clockwork gets an easy kill on Winter up top. I mean, Brax is level 7 too. He's about to get out of control.
Here's the Midas up on our Lone Druid. So Black happy to follow his phase boots with the Midas. This is when you build hand of Midas. This is when it makes sense. Pycat taking a little bit of harassment, going to trade blows with Luo. And here comes Johnny. Ensnare's going to be there. He's got help from Freedom, though. Freedom not yet 6. And the Illuminate going to catch Freedom, but Johnny will be cleaned up. Clockwork was there with one last rocket to help things out. 1-2-1 is there. Might try to shackle. Will throw one out. Will not latch. Power Shot does connect, but the disjoint of things there from Brax is another frostbite. Battery Assault helping to melt down 1-2-1. Illuminate does catch Freedom. They do end up catching him down. Sunstrike not necessary as Luo was able to chase down that one kill with the blink. Pycat drops the healing ward. He's hanging around looking for a fight, but doesn't have a mana for the mana for an Omni Slash.
I'm not exactly sure why they keep ensnaring Pycat and trying to kill him. As soon as they get close, he just spins, and then there goes their engagement. So they're like, they want to kill him, but that's not the right way to kill him. They need to get a lucky shackle. They just need to harass him out with Anti-Mage so that he doesn't have any mana for spin. They need to approach it a little bit better.
LGD just taking over pretty much every phase now. We saw the solo kill happen at top. Now we see a uncontested tier 1 dropping. And the gold at just 9 minutes in. Yeah, it's about what you'd expect. Coming up on 5,000 gold in favor of LGD International. They've built a lead of 500 gold per minute over every minute that this game has been played so far.
Mm-hmm.
And Pike had a big part of that. I mean, take a look at the levels. Clockwork and the Lone Druid, the highest. Then you have a couple of decent levels, 7 and 7 on Brax and the Windrunner, excuse me, not Brax, on 1-2-1. And the Invoker played by Icing. But looks like LGD, yep. Ooh, missed on the hook. Missed opportunity there for Brax. Doesn't matter. They're going to follow it up and just burst Sag down anyway.
Yeah, and yeah, the supports are dying. Anti-Mage still not getting farm. Invoker still not getting farm. Just the important heroes are dying. Windrunner also died. Like, who hasn't died on? Only Luo. He's 1-0-0, but how is he going to carry versus this?
Oh, I see. Caught with a root right under his own tower. Sunstrike's going to be there. Not going to matter. Honestly, Black is too big already. Black is absolutely just taking this game over. And dominant from the word go. 68 CS coming up on 10 minutes in. And not only 68 CS, he's sitting at 2-0 as well. 2-1 for Brax on this Clockwork. And up to this point, the last 2 times that LGD has met with Rattlesnake, the Rattlesnake in the form they're in now anyway, it's been 2-0 victories going the way of LGD International. And to be honest, unless Rattlesnake's able to get something together real quick, they might get misery here, and they will with 1 mana void from Luo. But unless they're able to get something together real quick and derail what LGD has going on, this could be 3 2-0s in a row.
Oh, Crystal Maiden actually getting a magic stick into a magic wand before that.
Oh, Freedom! You're officially my favorite player on the map right now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Enchantress treads and Bassi before Midas too.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he's going Midas.
Black. The Midas of his own. Again, I support that Midas because it came out at a decent clip with a very specific purpose in mind. But
looking for a hook on Icy on bottom.
Gonna find it. Pycat moves forward, cogs go down, the cold snap goes off. It's a battle of the ticking damage. I don't even know what you would call that. Basically, battery assault versus cold snap. There's a rotation coming down now, but Rattlesnake just looking to defend the tower, in no mood to fight at the moment.
Yeah, Brax has just been doing so much work. 3-1 and 2, killing very important heroes on the map. Misery very close to. Oh wow, looks like Pycat just able to find Keeper Light off by his own. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Keeper Light pick is just. What does it contribute with their lineup? They have Windrunner for anti-push. They don't have any like super heavy mana intensive heroes that need constant shock or magic. It's not a good babysitter in this lane too. And it was like okay with Naga Siren pre-nerf, but that went out of vogue like a long time ago. The Naga Siren Keeper Light X triple lane.
Pycat just continuing to play very brave down here in this bottom lane, and why wouldn't he? He has felt nigh invincible, sitting at 2-0-1. He's got drums, he's got phase, he's off to a great start at just 12 minutes in, and Black continues to rack up the farm. Top 4 in terms of net worth right now all belong to LGD International. They really are running out of time. Rattlesnake is...
Shot barely misses. Brax may die here.
Eats a Sunstrike in the face. The Cold Snap is there. Shackle won't latch, though. They just don't have the damage for him. He's a little too far ahead, and he pops the Battery Assault. That'll cover his retreat quite effectively. At bottom, Brax has a healing ward he can drop if he wants to, but right now just right-clicking down this tier 2, and no one is in the vicinity to try and stop him, at least not yet.
Yeah, it looks like Freedom is actually going for a medallion. My goodness.
It makes me so happy. It does. I'm a happy guy right now. Mid-game items are just, they make me happy. No Force Staff up on ice.
Drums on Pycat too. They can end this game very early with these items. They just need to take out Roshan, just get a Radiance on Black, which is coming in 2,000 gold. So maybe like 4 more minutes, probably 3 or 4 more minutes.
And Pycat serving as a bit of bait. He's got help from the north.
Misery went point booster. This is blasphemy.
I love it. Makes me so happy. Pycat gonna have Omni Slash back up in 20 seconds. They may not need it. Johnny gonna be frostbitten. He's gonna mirror image out of it. Pycat right on top of him. Impetus damage plus Blade Fury enough to burst Johnny down. Pycat will be caught out and shackled though, so it will be a 1-for-1 exchange. That's a good change, or a good exchange, I should say. going the way of Rattlesnake that time, but they're still just kind of holding court here in this jungle. And here comes the Clockwork. We'll find a hook on 1-2-1, and Battery Assault is up. Here comes the rest of the troops. 1-2-1 doing what damage he can. There's Illuminate that catches a couple. 1-2-1 will end up dropping. Now they're going to try to battle it out. Sag just eating Impetus all across the board. We see the Crystal Maiden getting off the freezing field. Luo, though, there to help clean things up. So that's a 2-for-3 exchange, at least for the moment. Luo not done, though, pursuing out Misery. Misery making a run for it.
He's going to get ensnared.
Yep. And there you go. Sunstrike is there. And still having some trouble bringing him down. There's an Invis rune if he can actually make it, and unfortunately unable to do so. Here comes the Omni Slash, though. That's going to get at least one return kill. Luo versus Pycat. This is not going to be a win for Luo. One would not imagine. He needs a crit, and yet able to get one, but Luo able to blink away nonetheless. 8-13 at the close of that battle. Basically coming out about where we started, which is very bad news for Rattlesnake, because they're now 5 digits in gold behind. 10,000 gold, in excess of 10,000 gold behind, and we're just 14.5 minutes into this game.
Rattlesnake is about to feel the wrath of Black's Radiance too, and that's really close to coming up, just like 600 gold. So one more minute, it's pretty much just do or die.
Yep, and for the top 5 farmers, all belonging to LGD right now. Look at Black's farm in comparison to the Animage, almost doubling him up at this point, which is really kind of silly. And are they still throwing snowballs at each other? Every now and then when I flick the camera to Crystal Maid, it seems like she's getting hit with a snowball. I don't know if that's a graphical glitch or if it's just them continuing to burn through their Frost of His 2012 swag.
With Healing Ward and Lone Druid, they can pretty much just do whatever they want, whether it's push a T2 or a T3 or do Roshan. That combo is just very, very potent with a 2700 HP bear.
Luo, in search of his Battle Fury, has a Perseverance up as well as his Claymore, so at least making some progress there. Has a very decent chance of getting it up before 18 minutes.
1-2-1 probably going to get picked off again.
Spotted out. Brax is there looking for a hook, waiting for a pause. 1-2-1. Yep, that's long enough.
If he goes up like this far, he'll get a smoke pop.
Yep, there's the flare. Up. Guessed wrong. 1-2-1 headed north. Zigged when Brax wanted him to zag. All this time, Luo is finding farm, but so is Black. And Black has been basically left completely alone for quite some time now. There's the mechanism done on the Windrunner, so at least one little bright spot for Rattlesnake at the moment.
Yep, Radiance is coming on chicken right now. There it goes.
And this might be the word go. Don't know if they need to wait on a whole lot more. And there you go. Radiance done.
Like push out one more wave, or just go ahead and TP, push out that wave with your Radiance, and then just go do Roshan and then push. They don't really have to wait for anything else.
Yep. 16 minutes, 7 seconds. Brax is tanked up very well. He's more than halfway done with his Scepter already. Freedom with the Medallion, making me a very happy guy. Pycat has his Yasha even. And here comes Black, ready to move on into the pit.
Out with Force Spear, so they're going to know.
It's going to be a tough one for them to challenge. You do have Naga Siren Sleep, though, so Johnny, just for that alone, might be enough of a deterrent to at least make LGD delay this Roche attempt. Actually, no, they're still hanging around and not willing to abandon the pit quite yet, even still using the Medallion from the high ground. Looks like Rattlesnake really unsure what to do right now. Johnny's actually going to be caught. There's a freezing field from the high ground. That damage might be enough to force it back. And the hook from Brax. With Naga down, there's no way they could challenge this, even if they had gone right there. Not having Naga Sleep just crippling, and that's going to be a free agent.
Yeah, really nice play by Freedom up there, using that uphill advantage. And I thought that Windrunner was close enough to Shackle, but still just really good engagement, picking out that Naga. Without Song of the Saturn, there's no way they can take Roshan.
And Rattlesnake very much on the back foot right now. The net worth just utterly out of control. Black is essentially doubling the Anti-Mage at this point, and we are short of 20 minutes in. And he has an Aegis. I mean, this is just a game that has utterly gotten away from Rattlesnake. And with the Radiance up right now, no BKBs anywhere in sight. I don't know how they could possibly hope to stand up to this Bear's Radiance burn.
Oh, well, the Lone Druid not trying to give them anything. I think they could have just kept pushing a T3. I guess Healing Aura was about to expire, so not the best timing for them. They still have another 5 minutes to do so. Checking Anti-Mage's farm, he is actually very close to his Battlefield. He just needs another 20 gold. So that is their one saving grace. That is their late game hope. Invoker's pretty much all hope lost for him. 0, 3, and 4. He has brown boots and 4 staff, but that is it.
Looks like
Talisman.
LGD just wants to play this out methodically as they can. Scepter's now done.
Find him.
Nope. Unable to track him down. Must have just barely missed the Crystal Nova.
Yeah, I thought it gives vision, but I don't play Crystal Maiden enough to actually confirm whether it does or not.
The Battle Fury done on Anti-Mage. The gold continues to be way out of hand, and Vlad's now done on that Lone Druid. And I think we deserve a pat on the back. We've been saying for a while, draft Black a hero that fits his playstyle, and they've certainly found that here today. He's had a lot of success on that Lone Druid, and farming his butt off. Brack's going to try to pursue out Icy. Icy skills out the QQ walk. That'll be enough to get him away to safety. LGD, though, looks like they should be ready to group up and push down this last remaining outer tier tower at top.
Yep, they just need to keep all 3 lanes pushed out, or at least 2 of them, and bottom lane they can push out after their push. So just looking to take out the last T2 right now. And yeah, this is a really smart play by Black here, just making sure that Keeper of the Light cannot just Coddle Blast the wave. Generally, that's Clockwork's job, but
they're not even going to glyph this, knowing they're going to need it to defend the base sometime soon. Actually doing a fair amount of damage to Misery right there. But all of this, any damage they do is just feeling almost irrelevant. There's a Shackle onto the bear. Let's see if they can burst him down. He's tanking the tower shots as well. They have a resummon on that bear, and the healing ward is down. There's an ensnare onto Brax. Brax going to hook back onto the bear, actually. Pycat has Omni Slash up. The healing ward trailing behind him a little bit. That bear certainly benefiting a lot from that healing ward. There's going to be another Shackle that actually caught Black plus the bear. And at least for the moment, things being stalled. Aegis has 3 minutes until it's reclaimed. There's going to be a hook in, and he managed to catch Icy. Icy locked in. There's Naga Sleep. And that actually sort of screwed them. A lot of damage was negated there. And the Illuminate only connecting on Pycat. That's going to allow them to get in a position. So not the best teamwork in terms of making use of that Naga Siren Sleep. And now they're going to get a free set of racks. They can barely contest this, having to run all the way back to the well before even thinking of coming out. And down goes the melee racks. Shackle onto the bear, won't latch. Ranged racks next on the list, and they can honestly just rotate here. I don't know that they have to stop pushing. Pycat spins out of the ensnare, and of course the Sunstrike doing no damage because of that. Misery got to be careful. His Forge Spirits do hurt as far behind as the Invoker happens to be. Not something you want to play with. And yep, here we go.
Mage might get a T2, but I mean, his second set of racks are about to be pressured.
Big deal. The Illuminate does connect, but I mean, they just feel so tanky. This is the strength of a Juggernaut in this composition, that Meteor.
They just stand in the Meteor because of the healing ward.
Yeah, they don't care. And there's going to be another hook, this time going to catch Sag. Sag going to be blown up, and Mirror Image trying to buy some time. Brax is kind of low. He might end up dropping. Luo does show back up. There's an ensnare on the Brax. The Mana Void doesn't do the job, though. Johnny going to be caught out in Omni Slash, so down he goes. In the meantime, Black cleans up the second set of racks. There's a Shackle, not going to latch. GG call. They just don't have the damage. They really don't. We're chunking away at LGD, and LGD, like you said, they're standing in Meteor. They're not even dodging Illuminate. That's just how much out of control their farm and their lead happened to be by 22 minutes into that game.
The Juggernaut pick was really, really crucial to LGD and being able to end the game this early, and he was able to survive the ganks on bottom, and he was able to contribute a lot to their push. So it was a very smart draft by LGD, and I think a just rather lackluster draft by Rattlesnake, too.
Yeah, I think it's a mad draft. We've seen a couple of those today where you look at it and you see what they can do. You go, well, you can ensnare into Sunstrike and Windrunner plus Keeper of the Light gives you some nice anti-push, being able to spam, and maybe if you chain together a nice power shot with an Illuminate right before a team fight, that's going to give you a big advantage. Like, you could see how these heroes could work together. But they didn't have a very deliberate purpose, it didn't feel like. Like, you didn't look at this and go, well, obviously, what they need to do is rotate the Naga, the Invoker, and the Windrunner and make X happen so that they can take X objective by X time. You just didn't have that sense of purpose to this lineup, where you compare that to LGD's. The Lone Druid just basically sit back and farm and push whenever they leave you alone and let our very strong early and mid-game lineup do work around the map in the meantime. So our second series in the books in a hurry. Only took 21 minutes and 57 seconds. here in our second game for them to close it out. By the time all was said and done, LGD International doubling up Rattlesnake. And moving ahead to our last series of the night and our fifth series of the day. Don't forget, by the way, the Western Division will be kicking off again tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a moment. For now, thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers, joined by Ben Merlini Wu. No longer is Nahaz with us, unfortunately. He had to go to bed. He's actually got like real work and stuff to do. Make sure you check out us on Twitter, myself and Merlini. Find me at AC, find Merlini at Merlini Dota. Make sure you check out all of his educational content on YouTube and elsewhere. Just Google Merlini Dota. You can find pretty much everything you need. You can find me again on Twitter at AC, and on Twitch it's ACTV with links to all of my other social media, usually under the ACTV moniker as well. So one more series left, bouncing back at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time starting tomorrow. We'll be back to Western Dota. And if we can go ahead and take a look at the schedule, it's going to be a furious 2 weeks of Dota ahead of us if we've got that ready. And there it is. Nothing wrong with seeing our team progress all the time. But there you go. As you can see, we already had play today. Virtus Pro and Alliance. Alliance got the best of VP in that match. Mouse Sports and Na'Vi blanking Mouse in a very impressive series in its own right. Tomorrow we'll have Virtus Pro versus Na'Vi with Alliance taking on Mouse. It's just a reverse of what we saw today. But you can move on down the line. This is our West schedule over the next 7 days. We've got 2 big weeks of a schedule like this, and even on Thursday, not just 2 matches on Thursday, we have a triple header. We're going to have a few of those by the time all is said and done. You can find this as well as all other information over at D2L.gg. Really nifty if you haven't had a chance to check out the website. Whenever you go to D2L.gg, it's divided in half, East and West divisions, and you can go to whichever one you want. You can check out schedules. You can check out results, watch the VODs, 100 other things you can do on the website. Just really, really proud of what we've been able to do with that this season, thanks to the support of Kingston HyperX. Once again, guys, I'm AC. Myself and Merlini will be back. Our third series of the night as Tongfu finishes up their schedule. That's heading your way in just a few minutes. Stick with us. We'll be right back.